Hello, hello, hello. My name is NicholassRivas. I talk about politics and stuff. And today we're going to be talking about the Try Guys. I'm just kidding. We're talking about Andrew Callaghan on CNN destroying Don Lemon. I played a little clip before this. Basically, Andrew Callaghan, he has this new documentary coming out on HBO. I'm a big fan of him. He formerly used to be part of All Gas, No Breaks. Now is with Channel 5. His own sort of conglomerate of similar interviews, interviewing Americans, going to crazy conventions and stuff. And yeah, he's just a really talented interviewer. But he was on Don Lemon of CNN, and Don Lemon is the most neutral hack you can think of. Like, the guy isn't like as egregious of as a Rachel Maddow, where like their disgust for Trump led them to being so volatile against everything Trump did. Like, I'm not a big Trump fan, and I think 99% of the things that he agrees with, I don't agree with. But I was okay to be principled in that, if he's anti-war, I'm anti-war with him, because, same idea, same ideology. But I didn't care if he did it one way or the other. If he's anti-war, I'm anti-war. Like, that, there's stuff that you kind of look past when you just want to get your items. I don't want war. And Trump was showing himself to be this non-war candidate. Now, granted, we saw that he was one of many of the modern presidents who led us into more war, but credit is due. His doings with Kim Jong-il was pretty great. I mean, that was the first time a president ever stood in North Korea. So it's nuanced, right? There are points that I give him a lot of credit, points where I do definitely give him critique. But people like Don Lemon, the Rachel Maddows, granted Rachel Maddow MSNBC, but in that realm of like commentators, news specialists who just don't give anybody any leeway, Don Lemon is that to Trump and just a lot of the Republicans. And so seeing him come on with Andrew Callaghan, who leans more left, maybe left of center, basically disregard CNN and say you are part of the problem, Don Lemon gets in his little fifis. He gets a little hurt. My guy, you are the problem. You are not the solution. To sit there and have Andrew say, I think the 24-hour news cycle is toxic. That's the very least that Andrew was saying. You heard, fake news. Fake news? What? Where the hell did any of that point did they say fake news? They said that the 24-hour news cycle feeds into what we now see into the QAnon January 6th riots. Like, our system failed a lot of these people, and I'm not going to take away any of their wrongdoings. They're fucking idiots for trying to kill senators and revoke an election. It's the most undemocratic thing you can do. But the case of the Don Lemon to say, well, I was not part of that. Well, yeah, but you're part of the 24-hour news cycle. And I think it's very easy to shit on the 24-hour news cycle because it's the conglomerates, the big news companies. They're so easy to shit on. They're usually the bad guys. But you can't deny that they had some doing in putting a spotlight onto Donald Trump. They gave Donald Trump more press and power than anybody. They were pointing their finger, laughing at the spectacle of what is Donald Trump. And when the guy got fame and notoriety, you guys shut up and were like, oh shit, what did we do? And when he started calling you out on things, you puckered up. You were like, oh, no one's ever called us out on these things. Because even the most volatile Republicans did not like CNN. But they never said that they were fake. They never said that they were just destructive. And that's something that people, I would say, like center, maybe left, maybe center right would say. But these far right, far left figures typically were in their little echo chambers of sorts. And they never really bled into the mainstream media like Donald Trump did. So when he brought his right-wing crazies, not that he brought them with it. I think he just kind of, he came with them in a sort of like they were sick of the media conglomerates. When he started calling people fake news, people had to listen. Especially when he became president, people were like, whoa, the president is saying something. And now CNN is not the worst, when you think of people like Fox News and Newsmax, but they're not helping. They are media, focused. They're not there for news. They're there for the sensational stories. So when you had people like Trump, he was a sensational story. He was somebody who really caught attention. He was giving them clicks. He was giving them views. So they fed into that. They can shove all that like news integrity, like, no, they were a media company first and a news company second. And that's what happens when you have the 24-hour news cycle. You have to fill in news. You have to come out and say every day there's more murders than ever, there's more sex than ever, there's more violence than ever, more war. You have to put that out there because that's what gets the clicks. When you have people like Walter Cronkite come out, Walter Cronkite, he said, with his doings of media was like he would come on, he would read what came in the news. He only announced stuff when big news happened. The John F. Kennedy assassination, you had Walter Cronkite come out and say, hey guys, sorry to interrupt the media you're watching, but we have some big news. The president was killed. That's when you would have this emergency break. Now it feels like every day is a breaking news. Every day is something different. The January 6th committee has found Trump's taxes. He hasn't paid any taxes. Also, we're going to file charges. Also, we're going to do this. By the way, that's we have 2 more minutes of this war going on. Like you have to give it that the 24-hour news cycle is not healthy for the individuals. Just as it is to have Twitters and the Facebooks to see this media coming in, it's very dangerous. But is more dangerous is that CNN is basically validated because they are a big conglomerate. They are, historic. They have a lot of leverage behind them, given that they are a news company and people do trust them. And I do read them, but I also read them in comparison with other news networks. I'm not just reading CNN. I open up every morning with Reuters, and I open up every morning with CNN, and I open every morning with Fox News. It's not the healthiest thing because I think I'm going crazy, and I don't know if there's a right answer to this, but I do know for a fact that it's not healthy. I do know for a fact that when people like Don Lemon get in their fifis, I feel validated that you guys know that what you're doing is just sensational media. And we want true. We want, at the very least, some unbiasedness. But CNN has a left-wing bias, and it's not easy to hide that. I mean, I have my left-wing bias. But you have a news network with all these voices, and they all sound the same. So I hope what people saw with the Don Lemon interview is that people like Andrew Callaghan, who's truly trying to just show America as it is and truly being a fly in a wall journalism as it was intended to be. When you have people like Don Lemon who have this sort of agenda, who has this sort of script, and he has to cater to his CNN overlords, it's not authentic. And you have people like Andrew Callaghan who are. He is authentic. He proved to Don Lemon that he's not this goof in a big suit, that he is somebody who just wants to understand why these people believe in the QAnon stuff, why they believe in this. So, yeah, it is what it is. Thank y'all very much. Gabagool. Peace.